Welcome back to another One Piece video, guys, and today we're going to discuss bounties. I never actually done this before, but since the latest chapter has a lot of the community thinking Wano's actually over and Kaido got defeated for good this time, this is a perfect time to actually discuss this. Before we get into it, guys, make sure you guys leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and by the way, we got 3 chapters in a row starting next week, and I will plan on covering every single thing about it. So if you guys want to keep up with that information, subscribe and join my Discord down below. If you guys want any news about anything regarding One Piece, you can always talk to me there. Now let's get straight into this. So you guys might be confused as to why I'm showing you guys Reddit right now. I might make this into a series where I do discuss a lot of the Reddit threads or even theories, but I found this kind of interesting because for the most part I actually do agree with this, and I'm going to explain why. So Monkey D. Luffy obviously is at 4.4 billion. Now I do not agree necessarily with the 4.4. I do believe minimum Luffy needs a 4 billion berry bounty simply for the fact that he's going to get mainly all the credit for defeating Kaido, and the reason why I said mainly is because obviously they're going to credit Luffy this because he's going to be the biggest name behind the defeat of the strongest creature who also has the highest bounty. So Luffy getting bumped up to 4 bill isn't too crazy, alongside the fact that they do understand now that Luffy does have the craziest fruit, and the fruit that they even had to change the name of has now awakened into Luffy's arms, and his threat level has to increase to a point where it is at least 4 billion because Joy Boy was obviously prior to this the owner of that crazy fruit. So now that he's awakened, he's become a massive big threat on top of defeating Kaido, and alongside allying with Wano, which is also possible, and that becoming his land as well. Yeah, Luffy is going to be a big threat. So Law and Eustace Kid, I do believe they get a minimum of 2 billion because these guys, as we've seen recently in Wano, they have defeated a Yonko, which is Big Mom, who also has the second highest bounty amongst the pirates, obviously. And yeah, these guys definitely are typically stronger than commanders. I don't think any other commander was capable of doing or has shown the level of what these two characters did to a Yonko. No other character that isn't a top tier pirate or a Yonko has done something like this. So the fact that these two guys were single-handedly able to take a Yonko, they're definitely deserving of 2 bill above any other commander we've seen. Now here's where it gets sticky. Roronoa, obviously he scarred Kaido, and he defeated King, who also had a 1.380 billion berry bounty. Obviously, since Zoro's defeated King, I believe the typical and most logical way to upgrade his bounty is for it to be above King because he is a bigger threat and he's more dangerous to the world government now because he defeated someone on that stature. He's a bigger threat, he's stronger, he should be above him. Typically that's how it should work because he defeated him individually, right? Same with Sanji. He defeated Queen, who has a 1.32 billion berry bounty, I believe, and he was also responsible for single-handedly defeating Queen. If Zoro and Sanji's bounty aren't above King and Queen's, I don't know how that's necessarily going to make sense because they honestly are a bigger threat level to their world government than King and Queen are, since they defeated them and they were no longer here alongside their captain Kaido. So I think they rightfully should be above the respective commanders that they defeated bounties. So Zoro, I could see him touching 1.5, and definitely I could see if he does something else in Wano, which I do think he might have one more moment to shine potentially. And Sanji, I'm not too sure, but he should have over Queen's bounty. Nico Robin, to keep it simple, she should have 1 billion simply for the fact that she is on ongoing threats, and they even try to capture her this arc, but obviously they failed, and Nico Robin can't just be ignored. Her bounty can't just be that low anymore because as Luffy elevates, Nico Robin is going to become a bigger and bigger threat because Luffy, if he gets closer to achieving his dream, Robin is going to be the person or the only person that can actually help him achieve that. If they don't capture or get rid of her right away, it's going to cause problems for the world government. Yamato right here, if she joins the Strawhat crew, which she most likely will, I don't think she would get 800 million. She might get around maybe the 100 to 400 million mark. I'm not too sure, but I don't know how her power could get recognized to the point where she gets this much of a bounty. I know she's the daughter of Kaido. I don't know how it's going to get out to the world that she is this big of a threat unless she does something again, but ultimately the only way I can see her getting this much of a bounty is if someone has recognized her strength level and informs it to the world government or the Marines. But the fact that she joined Luffy's crew, she helped allies, she was a big help, and the fact that she is Kaido's daughter, I think it's going to give her at least around the 100 to 400 million mark, even maybe 500 million. Jinbei, he defeated Who's Who, and he has now joined Luffy's pirate crew for sure, and Luffy's obviously elevating, so I do see him getting a boost. I do think 650 million is kind of fair, but I would probably say around 700 million. Frankie has defeated Sasaki, who is one of the more higher ranking Flying 6 in terms of bounty and strength in my opinion. Frankie going up to 400 million, 450 million, and him being decently powerful, I think it's fair enough to say that Frankie should be at least maybe above Sasaki's bounty, because he did beat him technically one-on-one with no interference, so I do think he should be up there. God Usopp, like this guy, like I said, Brooke, I'm gonna talk both of them in the same sentence here. I know some of you guys might love these characters, and they're not bad characters, and they're pretty good, but they're just, this arc, they haven't really done anything, more specifically Usopp. And Brooke, what am I talking about? These guys haven't had really any moments to shine in this raid. They haven't really fought anybody of note. I don't really see anything they have done for me to give them a significant bounty increase. Like I said, they're probably just going to get a bounty increase off of Luffy's name and them being a part of the crew, but it's not going to be anything significant unless they do something major towards the end of the arc. So for as of right now, I can only see 100 million boost potentially for these two guys off the fact that Luffy has got a gigantic boost himself. Now as for Nami, right, so Nami has defeated Ulti, who is seemingly one of the strongest Flying 6, but at the same time it wasn't a decisive, a single-handed defeat like for example Vince Sanji, Rono Zoro, or even Frankie himself. She had a lot of help from Big Mom. There was a lot of interferences in her fight. Even though she has defeated Ulti, it wasn't definitive enough for her to have a bounty over necessarily Ulti's, who was 420 million. I do think she could get that because realistically she's gonna get the props for defeating her, but I just don't know because the fight has been a lot of help for her, so she's not definitively stronger or more of a threat than Ulti is, but she could be viewed that way because Ulti is no longer in the picture. So giving her that bounty, and the world government not knowing the context of how Ulti got defeated, but all they know is that Nami defeated her, then she could potentially get that bounty. So for Nami, I do think she could get 300 million, and Frankie slightly over Sasaki's bounty. As for Chopper, there's not a lot I could say here. I feel like he might stay as a meme, I'm not too sure, but Chopper maybe could get a high bounty for once, but then again, I don't know if this is the arc because he hasn't done anything either besides stall Queen for a little bit. Oh, he actually did cure the diseases, he helped Zoro, he did all that doctor stuff. Threat-wise and his bounty increasing, all I do see is Oda keeping it as a gag, so I'm not too sure. And that's pretty much it, guys, for my bounties. Let me know what you guys think down below about what I talked about and what you guys might think, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.